for inviting me to join you. To the loved ones and friends of the Afzal family, and tonight we are all friends of the Afzal family, I am so sorry for your loss. We hold you in our thoughts, just like we hold your precious 9-year-old boy in our hearts. This family touched so many around them. Salman was known for his warm heart. Madia was working on her PhD in engineering. She and her daughter had painted a mural at their mosque, and Yumna was an active member of her student community. Their grandmother cherished her family, and Fayez still has so much ahead of him. They were loved. I know they will be so deeply missed. To this community, which has made London stronger for generations, and to all Muslim Canadians, we are with you. There are no words that can ease the grief of having 3 generations murdered in their neighborhood.
Nihad Awad, he's the Executive Director of the Council on American-Islamic Relations. Hi there, thank you so much for joining us on TRT World. Firstly, what's your reaction to this terrible hate crime that's taken place in Canada?
Well, as the Prime Minister said, there are no words that can express the deep sadness and grief that we all feel as Muslims in the West, as American Muslims and also Canadian Muslims, for the brutal loss and attack on this family of different generations. So we're terrified, we're angry, we're sad, and we're looking for actions. And that's why today we called on the President of the United States, Joe Biden, and by extension, the Prime Minister of Canada, is really to follow words with action. Islamophobia, as the Prime Minister of Canada said just now, Islamophobia is real and racism is real. Well, we need the leaders of society, the thoughtful leaders, the politicians, to really follow this with actions to prevent such a tragedy from happening, particularly against Muslims, but also against other minorities. We have been at the receiving end for decades from stereotypes, misinformation about Islam, because Islamophobia is deeply rooted in our Western societies, is deeply rooted in Canada, is deeply rooted in the United States and in Europe. And it transcends borders, ethnicities, and classes, and it has to be confronted with so much cooperation and commitment from the top echelon of our government, from the president to the Congress, to politicians, to media, to religious leadership, to uproot this evil from our lives and make it impossible and difficult, socially and politically, to be present with us.
Justin Trudeau, speaking at the vigil, did say that he promised to act to tackle the scourge of Islamophobia in Canada. You say that leaders must act now. What sort of actions would you like to see? What should Trudeau and other world leaders do to tackle anti-Muslim hate in their countries?
I think Justin Trudeau, did the right thing by showing up in person, by expressing solidarity with the Muslim community, by sending a clear message to the entire society that Islamophobia will not be tolerated. And the Muslim community is part and parcel of the Canadian society. But also we need actions. We need, as we suggested to the President of the United States, to institute and initiate an envoy to monitor and combat Islamophobia globally, and to call on the parliament, such as the Congress in the United States, to establish a permanent office to monitor and combat Islamophobia, similar to what we have done to anti-Semitism in the United States. That Islamophobia that we see now is thriving It has been championed in the United States by the most powerful president of the time, which is Donald Trump. So to uproot it, you have to confront it at all levels and make sure that we do not tolerate anti-Muslim policies at any level of our government. In the United States, Muslims have been surveilled for decades until now with the justification that they potentially may commit harm to national security. And these biased views can send a clear and green light message to average people that Muslims are to be viewed with suspicion and they're not welcome here and they pose a threat to our society. They have seen and heard messages like this loud and clear from very powerful people in our society. And I believe Canada is no different. I appreciate that the Prime Minister of Canada took the time to be there. But again, we, as I said, Islamophobia transcends borders, and it is as bad in Canada as it is in the United States.
Okay, Nihad Awad from the Council on American Islamic Relations, thank you again for sharing your thoughts with us on TRT World.